B-boy. From the old to the new, still a B-boy. Too bold for the school, still a B-boy. East Coast to the West, B-boys worldwide. We supposed to be blessed, still a B-boy. From the old to the new.
This week we are flipping the script. I've gotten emails, DMs, smoke signals, letters written in cursive asking me, Chris, what is your answer to some of these questions? So what I did is I brought in a guest host. He's going to take over, ask me some of these hip hop questions. So welcome today's guest host on Still a B-Boy podcast, Riplak. What's up?
What is up, everybody? I am honored to be on this. This sounded like one of the most fun podcasts I've been asked to do. Thank you.
So the chair is yours.
All right. I think we're going to start it out this little bit of bar for bar, okay?
All right.
So I'm going to ask you two artists, and you tell me who would win bar for bar.
Lyrically?
So, lyrically, for sure.
Lyrically.
Yep.
All right.
So we're going to start out with the Biggie and Big Pun.
Oh, pun.
I thought so too.
Yeah, that's not even close. I mean, Biggie was amazing and the way he would structure his rhymes, but if we're talking lyricism, I mean, I don't even think it's close.
Same. I
Right.
think a lot of people kind of sleep on Pun a little bit. So
Yeah, you know, he came and went, unfortunately, so quick, where I think, you know, I'm going to sidebar because that's just the way I am. I ramble. But if Biggie wouldn't have A, been involved in the Tupac beef, and B, being murdered, dying that way, as dope as he was, he wouldn't be at this high status, I don't think, when people look back on him. I think if Biggie was still alive today, I don't want to say he would fade off, but he wouldn't be looked back as one of the greatest, which he kind of is now. And I love those two Biggie albums. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I sometimes think he's a little bit overrated by some people.
yeah, fair. Good assessment. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course we got the Method Man, Redman.
You know, I'm probably going Redman. Redman's probably one of the few MCs that his lines can make me laugh out loud. It's a close one though. You know, they're lyrically talented in different ways, but I think the edge goes to Redman because dude just makes me smile with the crazy shit he says and how he says it.
Daz or Corrupt?
You know, the average person would say Corrupt, who probably is more lyrical. So Corrupt is the right answer. But if we're just comparing them as MCs, I think Daz is his flow is so flawless and smooth. I just always love Daz's flow. But Corrupt has tighter bars. He's more lyrical.
Okay. I was a Corrupt guy myself, but you know, that's a pretty good one if you really dig into all the music they've been putting out, because they never stopped. So
yeah, I mean, they both put out mad albums, you know, a bunch of underground stuff. Daz alone must have like 20 fucking solo albums. I've seen so many different ones.
yeah, he's good too. He's super underrated too.
Oh yeah.
I got one for you that I think I know the answer, but this one could be debated by many for hours. Immortal Technique or Chino XL?
Well, I'm gonna go with Chino, but not for the reason people think, not because I have a connection with him. Immortal Technique is dope, don't get me wrong, but there's Chino songs that I've heard 20 times and I'll still catch things that something in bar number 8 might relate to something in bar number 2, and you look at it a whole different way. To me, I mean, Chino XL is either 1 or 2 when it comes to lyricism, and I'm not even sure who I'd put over him. I'd have to think deep about it, but dude's just fucking amazing. I mean, that's not even a correct word for it. He's just so next level. But
he did his, man, he used music so much just to get through everything, and that guy he's so smart. I'm not saying either or aren't smart, but Chino's
right.
insane with what he says.
Right. But Technique is dope, no doubt about it.
Two that aren't very lyrical, but this would be a fun one. Dr. Dre and Snoop.
Here's the problem. My instinct is to say Dre, but most of Dre's rhymes, he didn't write.
Yeah.
Either the DOC wrote them later on in his career, Eminem and Royce 5'9" were writing them. So although the answer, Dre's lyrics I think are better than Snoop's.
Let's pretend he made them.
Let's pretend he made them. Then I'm
Yeah.
going Dre. Then I'm going
Okay.
Dre. I mean, Snoop's got some problem with Snoop. Maybe it's because he put out so much, but it kind of sounds recycled sometimes, Snoop, to me. Like, oh, it's just another Snoop Dogg sounding song.
I got a couple kind of funny ones in here. I got you with Cardi B or Nicki Minaj.
Well, I might have to pick Nicki, but kind of by default, because I think the only Cardi B song I know is that Wet Ass Pussy song.
Oh, okay.
But that first Nicki Minaj album, Pink Friday, I don't know, the cover's pink. There's actually a couple songs on there that I like, and I wouldn't call it lyrical, but by default, I really don't know shit about Cardi B except that she has a wet ass pussy.
Yep. I don't even know where to begin on this one, but I like Cardi B's style better, but I don't listen to them either.
No,
but,
I don't listen to either.
Here's my big joke one of the day: Slim Jesus or Slim Shady? And I'm not even gonna have you answer that.
All
Do you
right,
remember
well,
Slim Jesus?
I don't. I was going to ask you who that was. Who? Remind me. Slim Jesus.
He got famous on the same talent level as the Island Boys.
Oh, that's why I don't remember.
Yeah,
Them are the
he got
cats with them
famous.
crazy hair and all the face tattoos.
Yeah, no,
back
he
in the
was
day.
this some little tiny dude that did trap music and got made fun of.
Yeah, I don't know that cat.
We're gonna go DMX or J. Cole.
I'm going DMX because DMX was such a deep writer. I mean, he would. I don't know if there might not be a better MC who conveyed the passion or the struggle, or you felt like you were going through that shit that he was talking about. But he did have some dope bars. And J. Cole, I don't know his catalog as well, but I know a lot of people look at him as being tight. And I've heard some stuff, but I mean, I'm taking DMX all day long on that one.
Yeah, I'm bigger DMX fan, but that one would be a little hard for me. I listen to a lot of J. Cole.
Do you?
Yeah. Royce the 5'9" or Crooked Eye? I've debated this one with people for a long time.
There might not be a right or wrong answer. I know where I'm leaning, but I want to make sure I'm answering this correctly. I think I pick Royce, but it's close. I mean, it's fucking close.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I'm probably a bigger Royce fan, but Crooked Eye is dope too. It's not that I'm not a fan. I'm probably just a little bit bigger Royce fan. But even if I'm taking my fandom out of it, I can remember more slick bars from Royce the 5'9" songs than I can from Crooked Eye songs, even though I know they're both lyrical as hell. But that's a tough one. There's no wrong answer with that one,
not.
right? I mean,
that's literally one I don't get mad at as much as I'm a big West Coast hip hop fan through and through, and I've been listening to Crooked Eye since like
Death Row,
1999 maybe, and like so he's got a beat for me. But when people are like say that Royce is better, I'm not like, even though I'm diehard Crooked, I'm like I can't even be mad because they're both crazy. K Reno or Zero?
Big shout out to K Reno. I did an interview with him a couple weeks ago, and he was so mad cool. And I know you've worked with him, so I just want to give him a shout out because he was so mad cool. We had a great conversation. I can't wait for that one to come out. And people look at the South, Houston, where he's from, that whole area is not having lyricists. And K Reno was proving that wrong all the way back to the 90s. Before I interviewed him, I revisited some of his stuff from the 90s, and he was head and tails above anyone else in that part of the country in the 90s. So he doesn't get enough shine. So that's my pick. I do know more of his music, so that might be some of the problem. I mean, I know Zero, but I love K Reno. I mean, I think he's more lyrical.
Yeah, he's top 3 lyricist in my eyes anywhere.
Yeah, amazing.
And he's put out so much and it's all different.
Right. He's put out like over 50 albums or something.
He
It's
started.
crazy.
He started. I'm almost certain I'm not getting this wrong, but he started in 1983, or it was SPC something, but that's when I was born. So it was like my whole life, dude's been putting out music. But okay, one more on this category.
Right.
Oh, you gonna say something else?
No, what I learned was, and I don't know if you know this, you may, but when he first started, him and Gangsta Nip were in a group together, like in the 80s. And
Yep.
I didn't know that. I wasn't hip to K Reno until like the early 90s. Trying to think of the name of the album. I can picture the cover, but I didn't know.
Park Psycho, or I can't.
Well, no, that's Gangsta
Gangsta
Nip.
Nip. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the Reno album. Shit.
It's tough.
Whatever. I didn't know he worked with. I knew he did tracks with Nip, but I didn't know they kind of came up together in the 80s like that.
Yeah, when me and K Reno became cool, Gangsta Nip went and liked the Takeover Reverb Nation page and all that shit. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Gangsta Nip, man. That's
Plus, shout out to him because Gangsta Nip's rap idol is Ice-T. So I gotta like Gangsta Nip.
Yeah. So this is a pretty relevant one, and I wanted to know your take on it. So this is the last one in bar for bar. 3 6 Mafia or Bone Thugs and Harmony?
That's tough because I don't look at either of those groups as being necessarily lyrical, but I like both groups. I'm kind of picking it apart. I would say to me, the most lyrical in Bone is Crazy Bone. And even though I don't necessarily look at him as being a crazy lyricist, I believe he's the most lyrical. When I go to 3 6 Mafia, shit, I almost think Gangsta Boo might be the most lyrical. Maybe.
Hoops and Nika was pretty good too. With
yeah.
Like,
rest in peace. That's tough. I'm probably going with Bone, but when I think of both groups, I don't think of lyricism.
It's style.
And they just had those verses, and if we're going hit for hit, I don't even think it's fair. I think Bone had more major hits because they were on a whole nother level as far as records sold and how big they were. 3 6 Mafia has a lot of great underground hits that maybe are just for the hip hop heads. I mean, if I hear Tear the Club Up right now, I want to punch someone in the face. It just, it has that effect on you. But long story short, I'm going with Bone because of Crazy Bone.
Okay, I'm gonna get personal now because it's still bar for bar, but there's the underground and there's only 4 here. We're not gonna take forever on this. Riplak or NDK? Don't feel bad either. You gotta say whatever.
No, I'll be honest. That new NDK album is pretty dope. And it's pretty lyrical. I would say this. I think I like your style and emotion and passion more than him, but I think that he might win in lyricism. If we're talking about pure lyricism, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I think he would just edge you out. But damn, you got some dope lines, even in stuff that I just worked with you with. So it's not like you're getting blown away by him. It's probably off of the strength of this newest one and that Spit Mata album too. Shit.
Yeah, no,
I gotta give it to him.
Me.
I gotta give it to NDK. He must be talented if I pick him. And he called my wife a bitch back in the day. So
dang. Yeah, I agree. He's probably more lyrical than me. I mean, I got some like creativity edges on him.
It's a different style, right?
Yeah. All right, Kane or Double C?
I think Kane is more lyrical, but Double C has a more natural flow, and I think Kane would admit that. Double C, I talked about this in an interview, but when I first met, Kane brings Double C to me like, you should hear this guy rap. He's never rapped, but he sounds like he's been rapping for 10 years. I just always thought he had such a smooth flow. But if you really pick apart, Kane's sneaky lyrical, that's what I'll call him. Because I'll even listen to old songs of ours and be like, So I think Kane might be a little bit more lyrical, but Double C has a smoother flow. And I think Kane would admit that. But they both my people.
So we'll start with most underrated. So who, you know what I mean, like gets the most or should get more recognition than they do, I suppose. So Joel Ortiz or Joe Budden?
Ortiz.
Yes.
If we're going bar for bar, Ortiz blows Budden away. I mean, Ortiz is maybe 3 times as underrated as Joe Budden. He should get more. I mean, he's lyrical as hell. I mean, he can hold his own, with the Royces and Crooked Eye. I don't put him necessarily even with them, but he's damn close behind him. I mean, like he had a line in that K Slay 50-man posse track saying, shit, how's it goes? I don't need to concentrate to get this 8 off like a German. And it's just like, fuck, when it pops in your head what he's saying, 8 off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh shit. He's got a lot of those type of lines. So I'm going with Ortiz. He needs to get more love.
I agree. I don't like Joe Budden though.
No, I never thought he fit into Slaughterhouse, right? I never thought he should have been with the rest of them.
No. We're gonna go ahead and a big rest in peace to Gonzo or Yuck Mouth. And that's if you really get into Gonzo, like.
Yeah, he's probably more underrated just because Yuck Mouth had such a big hit with 5 on it, and almost everyone knows who the Loonies are because of that. Even outside of the Loonies, who had a couple really big albums and their work with Drew Down, Yuck Mouth has done crazy solo stuff. So the average person, even the casual listeners will know I got 5 on it.
True.
Only the hip hop heads will know Gonzo. So he's more underrated. But Yuck Mouth is dope.
Oh yeah, I love Yuck Mouth.
Yeah,
I love both of them, but I was always getting all Yuck Mouth's albums.
All right. And he put out a lot of them. A lot of dope compilations with really cool artists.
Spice 1 or 2 Short?
Well, Spice, if we're going underrated, probably Spice, because I don't know if anyone looks at Too Short as underrated. Although when people are talking about West Coast legends, Short should be in the name in that short list. But he often isn't. I think sometimes people overlook him because he didn't have this crazy rhyme flow or these crazy intricate lyrics. His lyrics were basic and slow, but he was such a trailblazer, and he made a lot of money off the word bitch. Spice One now is a better MC. He isn't quite as well known as Too Short, and album for album, I would listen to Spice One over Too Short most days. So I'm going Spice One is more underrated, but I don't even know if he's that underrated. If you're looking at mainstream, then yeah, he's underrated. But I think any real hip hop head would give props to Spice One.
Yeah, I think he's a major part of hip hop.
Absolutely.
I mean, both are. I think you're right though. Like Too Short should be in the conversation much more about the West Coast, and Spice One should be in the conversation way more about the pioneers and everything of gangster rap. Like,
yeah, he's the gangster rapper of all gangster rappers. I mean,
and that was a great interview, by the way.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it fucking sucks. My internet dropped out of all.
It was still so good, even though it wasn't the whole. Like it was very entertaining.
It was frustrating at the time, but at least I got 40 minutes or whatever out of it.
I got one here. So if you don't know them, don't feel bad. I don't know who all knows them, but to me, if they would have went through and made the albums they were supposed to with Dr. Dre, they would have been phenomenal. So we have, and I listen to these guys a lot, especially the first one, John Connor or Bishop Lamont.
I know John Connor.
Okay.
And I've heard Bishop Lamont. I know the name, but I'd be lying if I said I really knew his music. But John Connor is underrated. More people should know he's fucking dope rapper.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really dope. I heard him, I talked about that K Slay posse track. He's on there. And, he was one of the standouts on that. And and we're talking 50 other MCs, dope MCs, he should be getting major shine. He should be out there selling records or downloads since it's 2022. But yeah, I'm going with John Connor, but I don't know Lamont's music that well. So he might be just as dope, and I just don't know.
I think John Connor is an easy answer over those, but I've listened to him a lot. He's so good. Like he's actually
so good.
One of the most underrated artists out there, period. Out of all the like any of these guys on the list. Okay, one more on this. So it's Hussein, Fatal, or Corrupt?
Well, Fatal's probably more underrated, right? I don't know how many people look at Corrupt as underrated, especially like you said before, when people think of the Dog Pound, most people pick Corrupt as the better MC. Where yes, Fatal was linked up with very famous rappers, but he never was at a level that a Corrupt was. So I'm gonna say Fatal. I don't think people really think about, unfortunately, much that he did, where people are thinking about what things Corrupt did, that first Dog Pound album. Even Corrupt had a great run of solo albums, that double one, which was East Coast, West Coast, Corruption. Then he has Streets as a Mother. Then he had my favorite Corrupt album, which isn't many people's favorite, but my favorite is the Space Boogie album. I love that album. So yeah, Fatal definitely is more underrated than Corrupt.
Well, and then the reason I put Corrupt on there, I felt he doesn't get enough just being like good friends with Dre, being all over his albums and just being around who he's been around. Like he's always with Snoop, but like there's just that still too many people that don't know him. And I guess he's got more of a gangster West Coast thing, and a lot of those guys don't blow, but like I mean Corrupt's big. Don't get me wrong. I think he should be bigger, but that's just me.
The funny thing is, those same people who don't think of Corrupt are bumping Doggy Style in here and Corrupt. They're bumping Chronic in here and Corrupt. They're bumping, Murder Was a Case soundtrack in here and Corrupt. And I mean, he's still in their ears.
Yeah.
Right. But no, if you compare him to the other people that he's around a lot, yes, then he's more underrated than obviously the Snoops and the Dre's and all them cats.
Well, speaking of Dre, we'll go to this next one. So this is best album under Dre, and I'll give you two choices. So we'll go with the Chronic or Doggy Style.
The question
and these are kind of preference ones all around, not just like lyrical or anything like that.
Right, just what I think is the better album.
Yep.
What's funny is I ask this question almost every interview, and I've gone back and forth in my head. But I'm pretty sure that to me, the Chronic is a better album. And I've never heard anyone, maybe my brain works different, but if you listen to the last NWA album, the End for Life album, the production on it, just take away the MCs, just listen to the production on it, and take away the MCs and listen to the production on the Chronic. I almost look at them as, like brothers. They're very similar sonically. And I don't know how many people put those two together.
Oh, wow.
Go back, listen to the For Life album, and then listen to the Chronic right in a row. It's very similar sonically, at least to my ears. I might just be crazy.
I'll check that out.
So I love that last NWA album. So I love the Dre Chronic album more. But yeah, I'm going Chronic, but Doggy Style is dope. Doggy Style is sneaky dope. I think the average person who hasn't heard either album in years goes with the Chronic. But if you play that Doggy Style album, I mean, it's pretty solid.
Yeah, they're both great. The Game, the documentary, or 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Oh shit, The Game. That first Game album.
Yeah.
That was in the running. We have a episode coming up with top 10 West Coast albums of all time. That album was in the running for me. It didn't make my top 10, but it was in the running. Might be a top 5 Dre produced album. It just may be. It is to me. I love that album. Or Get Rich or Die Trying. Most 50 stuff. actually, let me take that back. 50 before he signed with Shady. Talk about How to Rob, Life on the Line. He was mad lyrical. Then Eminem signs him, and on 8 Mile soundtrack, he had a song that was lyrical too. But then when Get Rich or Die Trying, obviously it worked out for him because he's like a billionaire now. But I thought he kind of dumbed down his music, you know, the In the Clubs and the 21 Questions and all that. I was kind of disappointed with that album, although Patiently Waiting with Eminem is a dope song. But yeah, we're going to Game all day. That'll beat that 7 days a week.
That came out and I listened to that thing and I was just like, what am I hearing? And I listened to only that for a while. And I listened to The Game before he got signed with G Unit. And like, I listened to all of his stuff before that and I loved him. And when I heard him on the radio, I was like, there he is. That's my boy. Like, the documentary is way better. And I do think Get Rich or Die Trying is a great album, but
I'm not saying it's bad. I had higher hopes for it. I guess I was expecting the Life on the Line. I don't know if you're familiar with that song.
yeah.
Real lyrical song. Or like the How to Rob, which is just a great song.
Yeah, it is.
I love that song. But I was just personally disappointed.
So the Marshall Mathers LP or Chronic 2001?
Shit. That's a tough one. I think the Eminem record I like more. But the 2001 album might be a better album. I'm gonna go with Eminem just because I think I like that album more. When it comes to Eminem albums, that's probably one of the best ones, one or two. 2001, as great as it is, and it's a classic, no doubt about it. There's still songs on that I skip, handful of songs that I skip. Marshall Mathers LP, I don't think I really skip anything besides skits and shit like that. So we're going with M, Slim Shady, well, Marshall Mathers actually.
I might have to agree.
It's a tough one. That's close as hell.
I
That's
figured
a good
that'd be
one.
a good one to end on that segment with because it is a good one and it's kind
That's
of
a
out
good
of
one.
nowhere because they're both like way different. But the thing is, like, my thing with Marshall Mathers LP is because the Slim Shady one before that, like everyone was like, who is this guy? He's just saying what he wants. And then like they tried to get him to stop. And then on Marshall Mathers, he came out with Kim where he's thrown in a shrunken killer.
Right.
Just the craziest song ever. And you're just
Right.
like, what is happening? This guy's just blowing up. So it's like the stuff on that was just so out there and like he was just clever as hell. And it's him. And I know 2001 is like everybody.
Right.
And,
it's almost more
but
of a
the thing is,
compilation.
though, I think that was a great album too. But right when it came out, everybody listened to it over and over, and I got sick of it. And that's what sucks.
Right.
So,
yeah, like some of those main songs after that got played endlessly.
Okay. This segment's called. I know they have the one that's like Murder Mary or whatever, the little game.
Oh yeah,
they say somebody or whatever.
Right.
Well, this one's called Fight, Rap Battle, and Bail, like bail money.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick groups with 3 people in them, and you have to pick who you would choose to be your fighter, your rap battler, and the responsible one to bail you out, or the rich one, or whatever.
I get it. He's fighting. They're fighting on my side, right?
Yeah, these are your
fighting
friends.
them.
These are who you're gonna delegate. So
physical fighting, lyrical fighting. Get me out of jail. Let's do it.
The responsible to the passive one.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna try this. Let's see how it goes. So we're gonna start with the locks. So Jadakiss, Sheik Luch, and Styles P.
Well, obviously Jada is going to be the rap battler. I don't think there's even a question to that. So he's going to do the MCing for me. I think Styles P might be a little bit grittier. I'm going to have him fight for me, even though he's not as big as Sheik. And hopefully Sheik's, saves some of them royalties from money, power, respect, and gets me out of jail.
There you go. Sweet. I was gonna say Sheik to fight, but I don't.
He's bigger. He's the bigger man. But I have no idea how well either of them fight. But
yeah. All right. Rest in peace, Bushwick Bill, but Ghetto Boys, Willie D, Scarface, and Bushwick, and all at their prime too. Not like, you know.
Well, we gotta pick Willie D to fight. He beat a motherfucker down.
Yeah.
I'd never start shit with Willie D. That you just look at you wrong and scare the shit out you. And then you know, I want to say Scarface because he's probably the most lyrical, but I don't picture Bushwick Bill being that responsible and getting me out of jail.
Yeah.
I might be waiting a few weeks on Bill to get me out of jail, but by default, because Willie D's got to be the fighter, Scarface has to be the MC.
Okay.
And hopefully Bushwick Bill just makes his way over to me sooner or later.
Hey, he got bills in his name. Maybe he can pay it.
Right.
But rest in peace. I mean,
Absolutely. Huge fan.
Here's a fun one. I don't know how much you know about No Limit. But
yeah, I was somewhat paying attention. It's
the group True, Master P, Silk the Shocker,
Murder, Silk.
Murder.
All right.
Those three. Master P, Silk, and C Murder.
Well, we're picking C to fight because you know he'll kill a motherfucker. He's done it before.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people give Silk shit for not being a good rapper. But P's got the money, so I need P to bail me out. And by default, hopefully Silk can spit the verse of his life and win a battle. But C Murder all day fighting shit.
Yeah. That was like, yeah, Master P's that money guy.
Yeah.
He can probably just buy the whole jail.
Right.
Then we're gonna go over to Cash Money, Hot Boys. So it's Lil Wayne, BG, and we'll go Juvenile. I'm sorry, Turk, I have to leave someone out. Lil Wayne, BG, and Juvenile.
You know, before I answer this, I was talking about how I don't get how people put Kendrick Lamar on a pedestal. I don't get Lil Wayne, and no one agrees with me. I just don't get it. I don't get why people think he's that good. Part of it might be that his voice annoys me, and that might turn me off. But I don't think he's as good as everyone else in the world thinks. And since I'm in the minority, it doesn't mean I'm right. I just don't get it. So, you know, 99.9% of people pick Lil Wayne to be the lyrical, you know, the battler. I guess Juvenile probably is the fighter. And you said BG, right?
Yeah, BG.
I'm putting BG as my MC. Fuck it.
Same.
And yeah, I take BG over Wayne. And then Wayne's a Packer fan, so hopefully that'll get him to come bail me out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think BG. I love BG more than Wayne.
Yeah, he's out of that Cash Money crew. He's kind of underrated because people think of Wayne, Juvenile, who had some big hits, but I just don't get the whole Lil Wayne thing. I don't know. Must just be me.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, he's got some nice stuff, but then he ruins it with like a really corny line, and I can't.
He wouldn't make my top 300 list.
Oh wow.
That's how much I don't get Lil Wayne. His voice annoys the shit out of me is part of the problem.
Yeah.
It's just like someone whining, and it just bothers me. But whatever.
This one gets fun too.
All right.
Okay. So would you rather erase all music you've ever done and do a collaboration album with Ice-T, or keep your music and never have met or listened to Ice-T at all in your life?
Oh, fuck MCAK. Fuck the whole 101st catalog. I'm starting from scratch with the OG. That nothing could top that. Nothing could top that. I wouldn't even have to think about it. Nothing would top it.
Dang, I was wondering how you're gonna answer that one.
Nothing would top it. I mean, because after that, I could always make new music. But I guess if I'm thinking about it deep, the relationships I've built with all the people I've made music with is a deeper question. But my instinct is just to say fuck them all, and I'm doing a song with album with Ice-T. As shitty as that sounds.
This one's more of a impact on hip hop and personal preference question, because this had such major things in hip hop, these artists. So would you rather take away all of Tupac and Biggie's albums to take away all whack hip hop ever made, or keep all of their work and double the amount of whack rap going around.
There's so much whack rap.
Oh, there would be double.
That'd be double. Fuck. There's a lot of great hip. You know, we take Biggie and Pac away, as iconic as they are. There's still hundreds and hundreds of classic hip hop out there. So this is probably unpopular answer, but I'm taking Pac and Big away, and we're getting rid of all those whack ass rappers. But I know I'm probably in the minority in that too. You throw Pac in anything like that, people have strong emotions towards it, and I get it. But to me, there's so much more out there. But you know, you could throw Ice-T into that, and then that would totally change my answer, even though there's so much Ice-T out there. So
yeah.
Luckily, he wasn't part of the equation.
So bring back anyone of your choice from the dead and get rid of the existence of hip hop, past, present, and future, or let them rest in peace and become considered the greatest rapper to ever live, and that comes with the fortune.
Yeah, I can't. If you brought him back and hip hop didn't exist, who are they? I mean, you're really not giving the world, maybe their families, but what are you giving the world? They would just be dudes on this, the corner. I look at here's a great example. I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan. I'm a huge Milwaukee Bucks fan. Let's say the shit with Aaron Rodgers last year. I'm a Packers fan, right? I don't care who's playing for the Packers. Organization comes first. It comes first over any player, even if they're the greatest player in history. Organization comes first. I don't care if all scrubs are on the Packers. I'm going to be cheering. Same thing with hip hop. No matter what, hip hop comes first. So I think most of these dead MCs would agree that hip hop is bigger than them and more important. So that's the right answer. I don't even think it's debatable.
Yeah, I mean, hip hop's just so important to so many people.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and use one of yours.
All right.
And I am going to play the one word or thought that comes to your mind when I say these names.
Nice.
All right, we're going to start out with an easy one. Riplak.
When I think of you, I remember thinking how when I first was being introduced to you and your music, how much it reminded me of me just 10 years earlier or 8 years earlier, whatever it was. Because it's so hard to find people who had the passion for it. And it was like when I started, I just wanted to do it. Everyone could have booed me and told me how shitty I was, and many did. But it was irrelevant to me because it was that important to me. And I saw a lot of me in you as far as that goes. So that's my first instinct when I think of you is the passion for the music, especially when I first met you. Not that you don't have passion now, but you got other stuff going on. But in the beginning, that's why I reached out and was down to help you any way I could right away, because it's rare. And I think I said this in your interviews, 75% of the people out there, maybe more, are doing it because they either think it's cool, their friends are doing it, they think they're going to make money, they want to get girls. All that irrelevant to me. It was the passion for creating the music. And I really read that in you right away. I felt you had that.
Yeah, and that really, like, your faith in me, like, you were the first like person in the music industry that I really met, and like just that instant faith already, like the potential you said you saw in me, like that meant everything. And that's, I don't know, that got me going. Who knows how long I would have tried if I didn't hear that, So I appreciate all that. Okay, Tom McDonald.
Oh my God. Too many tattoos. I know there's Tom McDonald fans, and I don't know if you are or not, but I heard a song once that I almost thought kind of had racist overtones to it. And I don't remember the name anymore. But it was about, I don't know, he was standing up for being white or something. I don't remember how it went. The little bit I've heard, I was not very impressed. I know he's got fans, but he just looks kind of like a back alley scrub to me.
Yeah, my first thought when they say when I think of Tom McDonald as walking clickbait. He just makes songs to try to get people to click on
Right.
it. And you're like, oh, no lives matter. Oh, what's that? Oh, just a
Right.
rapper. Like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
But the Outlaws post Tupac.
I think the only the Still I Rise, I guess, was post Tupac, but I still kind of look at that as with Tupac. But they're doper than people, I think, give them credit for. Obviously, they were young when Pac got to him, but he obviously saw something. Pac was in a position that he could have brought up any rapper in the world that he thought was talented, and those are the ones he chose. But Idi Amin and Noble, they can spit. Then they had that Novocaine album, I think was the title.
Yep.
That was decent, and Still I Rise was good, although I kind of link that to Tupac because he's kind of featured heavy in it. But I would say underrated, going back to that. I don't think people think about the Outlaws enough.
I think you should listen to their first full one after Pac. It was Ride With Us or Glide With Us.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I heard of that.
I think you should check that one out. All right, first thoughts, Ice-T.
OG in so many things. Just life-changing. His music literally, people ask why I'm such a fan, and obviously I love the music, and but he's not the top of lyricist. He's not the top flow. He's not the top in any one category. But people got to understand that the younger people. So there was a song by Ice-T called Dog in the Wax. This is before his first album came out in 87, right? And my cousin was playing it and I liked it. So I went and bought the record, right, for Dog in the Wax. And on the B side was a song called 6 in the Morning, which obviously he's known for. But at the time, his album wasn't even out. I look at it like probably how kids who a few years later first heard Two Live Crew felt like, oh my God, he just cussed. Oh my God, he's talking about shooting someone. Oh, this is the best shit ever. But every Ice-T album had songs with messages. He never promoted violence. He would play these characters, and usually these violent characters had bad endings. So in a way, it was educational. It was warnings. But shit, I could talk about Ice-T for an hour. And if I don't stop myself, I will. But he literally changed my life. And that was the first thing I told him when I met him. Like, you don't understand. You may have saved my life. I mean, hip hop in general, I credit with, but if you could have seen me as a kid, how much of an Ice-T fan I am, how I was and still am. But I mean, he was like, idol isn't even a big enough word. I mean, I got 4 Ice-T tattoos, so obviously I'm a fan.
I got you one. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Underrated. When it comes to Will Smith, fucking underrated. I hate when people talk about pioneers or dope MCs from 80s, 90s and don't put him in it because that's bullshit. Jeff was and still is a top tier A+++ DJ, just crazy talented. And I think some of it, the lighthearted poppy type songs like Parents Just Don't Understand, the hip hop purists look down on because, it's too soft. But fucking Will Smith can out rap most MCs, even when he became Will Smith. Underrated. I fucking love all them Fresh Prince and Jeff records, every one.
There's legend big rappers that say that they were like, Will Smith was one of the best ever.
Oh,
he just got so much acting and
right now you don't even think of him as an MC anymore. Dude, fucking rap. I mean,
yep,
they are underrated. They sold millions of albums. It's weird to call them underrated. But in the hip hop circles, the people who call themselves the purists, he doesn't get mentioned, and that's bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah. What about NDK?
My first thought is lyrical, like we talked about before. It's hard, my first thought not to be shit that happened in the past, but as an MC, lyrical. I think it's great that similar, I mean, the beef with him and me wasn't like the beef with you and Double C. I'm not trying to compare it, but it was good that, you know, everyone could reach out and talk and squash anything in the past. And I'm glad I could with him too. You know, until all this shit happened, yeah, we did that studio, but I didn't know him. You know, how many times have I even been in the same room with him? I can less than one hand, right? But those albums I was talking about, the new one, you know, the one with Chino on it, name's escaping me.
Boldly Witness.
Right. And the Spit Mata album, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't dope. I mean, it's doper than 90% of the music out right now. And that's just a fact. And I'm fine with it. I'm not saying it's a fact and I don't like it. I got crazy respect. If you have skills like that, you should be rhyming and you should be putting out albums, and he should be putting out more albums, period.
Oh yeah. How about those Beastie Boys?
Legends. I just had a conversation. Someone asked me why we were talking about Vanilla Ice, right? Why weren't the Beastie Boys looked at as a joke the way Vanilla Ice and other white rappers were? And I said, it's simple. They were being themselves. Beastie Boys weren't trying to be Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Even though people compare them as a white Run DMC, they weren't making the same type of music. They were just being the crazy kids they were. And people in the hip hop community, even though 99, especially then, percent were black, had a respect. If someone's being real and being themselves, you got to respect it. Just also innovating. I mean, each album was so ahead of its time and unique and shit no one else would have the guts to do. You look at that Paul's Boutique album. I mean, at the time, even I didn't necessarily get it. I thought it was a little too off the wall. I just wanted some MCing. I wanted some, you know, Big Daddy Kane and NWA or whatever. And I didn't get it. But looking back on it 30 years later, groundbreaking as fuck. And true love for the old school. And big rest in peace to MCA. Beastie Boys are the shit and should be on everyone's playlist.
How about Nelly?
Nelly's whack. I think he's whack. And I didn't like his music. I wasn't getting it when he was doing Country Grammar and that shit blew up. But when he dissed KRS-One, I was like, he's a fucking idiot. He's just, what a fucking idiot. Any little, not that I had respect, but if I had any, it was lost when he tried to go at KRS, which was stupid as hell. I get why he blew up. It's catchy music. It's not, his music isn't made for the hip hop heads, the purists, the people who care about the culture. It's made for the suburban kids in high school who just want a catchy beat. But I mean, I can't hate. He has more money than I'll ever have, but I ain't bumping no Nelly.
No, I'm not a fan. I get the appeal of the catchy or
right.
marketing got him there or whatever happened. We'll do one more. Right. Ice Cube.
Cube might be the most talented all-around MC ever. Also, I think Cube had the best 5-album run in hip-hop history. I can't think of anyone who touches it. We're talking, and I'm not even talking straight out of Compton, right? He leaves that and does America's Most Wanted. And he works with the damn Bomb Squad from Public Enemy, but it works. He drops the Kill It Will EP too. Death Certificate, which is a top 5 hip hop album to me of all time. I mean, it's damn near perfect. Predator, Good Day, Wicked, Check Yourself. I mean, we could keep going. Lethal Injection, fuck. Mm-hmm. After that, the War and Peace were all right to me. Then after that is, I mean, I bought them all and I listened to them all. But that 5 run, and even throwing straight out of Compton, I don't think it can be touched. If it can, I would like someone to tell me who had a run like that. Lyricism, delivery, subject matter, storytelling. He can do it fucking all. He might be the best MC to ever pick up a mic if we're talking you just add each category up and whoever has the top score. I don't know who would beat Cube. I don't know. He's the shit.
His acting is phenomenal too.
Right. I mean, just so mad talented. And who the hell can make a mad face like that dude can? Can't no one scowl like Cube can, right?
And then he came out later with the Gangster Rap Made Me Do It. And I was like, this song, man. Like, still putting out hits. So it's crazy.
Shit, and you can even throw in them West Side. I mean, he gave us West Side Connection. He gave us the Lynch Mob. He gave us Yo-Yo. I mean, Cube is the man.
Yep.
Cube is the man. Is there anyone, in your opinion, who put out a string of albums that good in a row?
I'd have to really
right. I don't know. I mean, sure, the first 5 Ice-T albums mean more to me, probably, but them Cube albums, if I'm being objective, I don't know they can be touched. I mean, it's tough to go a decade, put out 5 albums that are all that classic, that hold up. I mean, you can listen to, I mean, It Was a Good Day could have been recorded yesterday and no one would think it sounds dated, right? I mean, it's timeless. It's fucking timeless.
Yep.
But I appreciate you doing this. It was fun, man. I could talk hip hop all night long. I know you got a lot of shit you're juggling.
Later.
See ya. Peace.
Man, tired of holding all these groceries, man. I've been waiting 20 minutes to get up to the cash register, and he's gonna say he's closed. You closed? Why are you closed? You ain't got nothing to do. You getting paid overtime. Man, come on, man. Take me right away. I only got 3 items, man, and I'll be out your way, man. Come on, man. I'm trying to make it to the Packer game. Come on, man.
Oh my God, just shut up for a minute. I'm trying to get my prescription from up out of this clinic. Fitting to snap and get explicit. If this line doesn't diminish, that baby crying better finish. Why'd that lady bring her kittens? They're crying with the baby and these ladies full of gossip. Then behind me is a lady trying to change the topic, asking me what's my problem, asking me how am I. I'm gonna kill myself before I get through this damn line. This is a bad time, so I start spitting verses. All these old ass persons getting mad at my curses. Then these hot ass nurses grabbing on my sleeve like they snatching purses, telling me to leave. Fuck it. So I went to the grocery. Then these annoying human beings start approaching me, but I don't want to talk to nobody. So I dropped my items, ran out the line, and went home to sleep.
What the fuck, man? I'm sick of this shit, nigga. I'm gonna leave. I ain't about to buy that motherfucker. Turn the fuck up, man. It's some bullshit, for real. On everything I love, man. If this nigga don't hurt the fuck up, I'm about to bust a cap in his ass and motherfucker stuff. Everything I love, nigga.
Me too, man. I'm trying to get out of here, man.
Man, we about to whoop.
I've been in this line longer than Lil Wayne's been giving baby head. Only came in this bitch for some milk and some bread. Now I got crying kids kicking my shins, plus the candy racks out of M&M's in front of me. This lady's paying with all pennies. Can't check out the checkout. That bitch is ugly. Just when I thought things couldn't get more slow, need a price check on register phone. Cat's bringing 50 items, the express checkout lane. This cart hit me from behind, causing me pain. The next up to deck decides to write a check, and neither her or the cashier seem to have a pen. People cutting in line, it's at least an hour. By the time I leave here, my milk will be sour and the bread mad stale. I've had it up to my nose, I'm the next one up. This register's closed.
What the fuck you mean is closed? You out your gut? I've been. No, I want to talk to your damn manager. Where's the manager? Get the manager down here right motherfucking now.
Oh, baby, these young kids getting on my goddamn nerves. They pissing me off. This don't make no, my bones is too old to be waiting like this.
If you don't get your old crusty dusty ass out of my...
Who the fuck you think
better
you
get
try-
I was here first, you old motherfucker. Get out of the way. You
Oh,
cutting in line. The
hell
line's
no.
closed anyway. Fuck it, I'm going to the next register.